OU softball advances to their 9th straight World Series. Thunder look to go up 3-1, take a commanding lead in the series tonight. And the Sooners land a big fish in recruiting this past week. All up next on Champion Standard.
That's my standard. That's my standard. My champion standard. Champion standard. Pull away the answers. Yeah, the answers. Champion standard. Champion standard. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, on this Memorial Day weekend. Please like, subscribe. How about that, Rob? I actually remembered like the first thing on the podcast for a change and didn't wait till the end.
Yeah.
I just needed a long weekend to refocus. That's all I needed. So
yeah.
Before we dive into our topics today, it is Memorial Weekend. So, it's a weekend to remember all those that have died serving our country. So just want to make sure and, recognize everyone in the military that gave their lives. So, a busy weekend sports-wise, especially for Oklahoma-based teams. Thunder played Game 3. We're not going to talk about that a whole lot, but the OU softball team, 9 straight World Series appearances. That's just unreal. Unreal.
That's a lot. Has that happened before?
That is
a
lot.
Record. Is there? Do you know if
maybe
UCLA
some of those UCLA, Arizona teams, maybe when they were dominant, but it's just impressive. Especially a year. We were supposed to be rebuilding, and we just win the first 2 games in the Bama series. Don't even let it go to a third game, which I loved, because those make me nervous when you get to those deciding third games like that. Anything can happen. So I'm glad they took care of business. They did it in style too. Saturday was the final 13-2. I don't remember, but they won by a lot. Getting to drive up the road 30 minutes going from Norman to Oklahoma City. I love that it's in Oklahoma City, and it just bugs the crap out of the other 49 states, and I don't care. It's awesome.
It is awesome. Well, hey, we committed to it. We want it, the bid and everything. So they can just kick rocks.
Yeah, fair and square. And we just happen to be dominating the sport right now as well. We got in 7 other teams in our side of the bracket. We match up with Tennessee right out of the gate, and then we will play the Texas Florida winner. Yep, thank you. So by far the hardest side of the bracket. You have 4 teams that I believe were all ranked number 1 at one point this year.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that but either way, you got 4 SEC teams to boot, which is just crazy. And then the other side of the bracket, you got the Nigel Kennedy-led Texas Tech Raiders going up against Ole Miss, and then Oregon and UCLA. So,
it's
brutal.
Definitely stacked in our little corner here. I mean that's just stacked, and having to deal with Tennessee this early is. Yeah, I mean, it was not a great draw, but I don't think it's going to matter at the end. The ladies are they're gonna pull it off.
They're getting a 5-peat. Is that what I heard, Rob? You predicting a 5-peat?
I think so.
Okay.
I just don't. You've got pitching that's coming on great. Landry. He's not considered, the Kennedy level, the Pickens level of Tennessee, but she's coming on, and I just think there's just too many good batters. I think we've got too many good hitters, and I think we're gonna have ourselves a little revenge game here on May 29th, and I think the ladies are gonna remind everyone that 4-peat, 5-peat, 6, it doesn't matter. It's this team. This team is really good, and this team's gonna go and finish it.
Yeah, to me, that ought to be like a prime time matchup in the evening instead of 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
on Thursday.
Yeah, see a lot of these games. I mean, there's not a whole lot of them that they put. I mean, they put the so they put the West Coast teams like the Oregon
But
and UCLA
yeah,
at 9:30. Tech and
yeah,
Ole Miss is at 7. I don't know. That's kind of strange.
yeah.
You stack up that one side of the bracket and you have them playing in the afternoon on a weekday.
Right.
That's not gonna
So
stop us from watching though.
no, I'm already letting putting our bosses on notice that we'll be distracted for a couple hours there Thursday afternoon. Um, I was pulling for Georgia, Clemson, Nebraska. I was just rooting for complete chaos this weekend, hoping all these top seeds just didn't make it through. I really wasn't looking forward to having to go through the gauntlet of the bracket like we are. But it is what it is, and it's in front of us. And if we can get past Pickens in Tennessee, then Rob, I may be on your side, and we can possibly go ahead and make that run. But that first game's pivotal.
Yeah, this series is definitely, in my opinion, the series, whoever's going to win this is going to be too battle hardened and riding too high to come down. If this is, I think this is for the championship right here. I know it's early, but because of how the bracket it was set up with so many heavy hitters so early, I think whoever's going to win this is just gonna be too good, man. I just think that they're gonna end up. This is gonna decide who's gonna win the World Series. Even though it is early, but I just don't think the teams that below are gonna be as battle hardened as facing against the greatest pitchers or the stacked roster of batters that OU has. It's gonna be somebody from this side of the bracket, and I think this Tennessee Oklahoma matchup is gonna end up being whoever wins this is gonna end up carrying it.
Yeah, I agree. Man, I kind of got a.
It's massive Thursday, man.
It is.
It's a massive Thursday.
Yeah, I feel like my new favorite player on OU's team right now is Gabby Garcia, and I've liked her. I've liked her during the season, but man, she's leading the team in home runs. Freshman, just leading the team in home runs, and she's got that energy. We've had a couple of those on our team, whether it was Brito or Riley Boone the last couple of years. She's just got that kind of energy to kind of ignites the team every now and then. So I'm looking forward to, I really want her to have a good World Series. Freshman, first time in Oklahoma City, you just never know how they're going to react. It's a whole nother animal, playing here. And
yeah,
I don't even know. Is it Devon
Energy Park?
Yeah. Gabby Garcia, she's got 20 home runs, 360 batting average. Cassidy Pickering and Ella Parker, the only ones higher batting average. Cassidy's 413 and Ella Parker is 416. So yeah, they got a potent lineup. You're back. Good. I was like, I don't know. Your audio just stopped. I thought I was just gonna have to go solo here for the next 30 minutes. Yeah, I was just talking about the stats. Ella Parker's batting 416, Cassidy Pickering's 413, and Gabby's 360. So, and
nice.
Then McEnroe Moranis is 348. So, yeah, I feel like they have the hitting.
Yes. The question is if they've got the hitting against an elite pitcher in Pickens, right? And if Pickens is gonna end up just going on a tear, right? I mean, the velocity that she's carrying, you saw her with her 80-mile-per-hour highlight pitch. That's some serious velocity, man. It's gonna be tough, but it doesn't seem the Tennessee Vols have getting into a series have a pitching staff, right? They don't have the number of pitchers we got Kristen Deals as well, and I forgot the other lady's name, but it's going to be that our hitters versus Pickens' velocity, and if we can capture a couple runs. The other thing that is Vols during the season didn't have the greatest fielding defense. They had quite a
Mm-hmm.
few errors. Now in these regionals though, they've been really good. But as the pressure mounts and you're going up against a very talented, very well coached OU team, when that pressure mounts, do those Tennessee defenders start making errors that they were making in the season. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually think, there's it's the little things that can win you these games, these close, 1-run, 2-run games in the World Series. And that's my biggest concern with this OU team is defensively. We don't have Jada Coleman. We don't have Kenzie Hansen. Jada Coleman's known for robbing home runs, making the catches when you need him. And Kenzie Hansen, both offensively and defensively, I mean, you talking about missing someone. Not
Yeah.
not to say anything bad about Isabella Emmerling, but she's let so many balls go by this year, Rob. That can make or break a game
Right.
for you late in the game. If you let a ball go by, someone scores, someone advances, and she's only batting 218, which is not great. So I think, to me, I think that's the biggest void this year compared to last year is Kenzie Hansen and of course Jada Coleman. I feel like we
Right.
got other pieces that are comparable to last year, but those two are we knew they were going to be hard to replace. So it's not like we're surprised here, right? So that's my concern is just the little things. No free bases, no walks, no pass balls, no defensive, mistakes. And this team's more than capable of, going through the tournament. Heck, they're the remaining top seed. There's no reason on paper why they couldn't. But we'll see if that youth gets them or if they just keep on rolling and add another ring to their hand, right? Just fill up their hand.
Right.
Go ahead and make 5 rings. Yeah. Yeah. What else we got on softball? Kind of touched on most everything, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, I think Landry's gonna have a good series. I do. I think she's gonna do great, and I think she's gonna prove that she's not. No, she's not the elite Pickens and elite, but I think she's gonna carve herself into the conversation as one of the better pitchers in the country. I think she kind of gets overshadowed because of these other big names, but the coaches that we have on staff, you know, how you're gonna have to remind me. We had a pitcher, was it last year or 2 years ago, that kind of went through that same career, like same story arc where she was kind of struggling through the regular season and
Yep.
she would have
Yep.
peaks and valleys, and then she got into this into the tournament when it turned up and she was just flawless.
Kelly
Was that
Maxwell
last year?
Yes,
Kelly
Kelly
Maxwell. Thank you, Maxwell.
Yep.
Gosh,
Yep.
thank you. Yes, it was,
Yep.
that was her. Sorry, I'm terrible with names.
No, for sure. She did. She came on strong.
She had her ups and downs through the season, and it takes coaching and pressure. She accepted it, got into the tournament, and she just was a completely different pitcher from what it was in the regular season. She struggled a little bit here and there. I feel like Landry's kind of going in that same story arc almost, and I feel like this is a game where things turn. This is a game where this is where your tournament run, your championship run begins, in my opinion, on Thursday. I mean, everything you worked up to get to it, but this Thursday's massive. Defensive led Sooners in this series, because I think it's going to be defense that's going to have to do some real legwork. You're going to have to match that Pickens defensive effort, and I think when you've got what is it in horse racing where you've got your two thoroughbreds, and you always kind of want to get them, and you get them neck to neck, and then the other, just it's that competitive spirit just takes off. I think I have Sam Landry as my person to watch in this series to really make a difference and then turn a corner and just take off and just send the Sooners into their next World Series.
Yeah, I almost want to see like when you look at her, you think of like just a nice librarian going out there on the pitcher mound, friendly librarian. She's just got that big smile, those glasses. I want to see like an intimidating like Sam Landry this series. Just not that she's not focused, but and that's who she is. She knows how to play relaxed, and everybody's got their thing. She's very, very comfortable in her area out there, and that's awesome. She doesn't seem to get rattled easily, if she gives up a long ball or something. But yeah, you're right. We'll go as far as she'll take us, and that defense will take us. So
I think they're going to surprise some people with their defensive effort. I really do. And I don't think Tennessee really has the number of batters. But I think OU is going to do real good on the defensive side. And then I think they just got too many batters that can do too many things, like you just mentioned, Gabby. There's a whole host of them that can get into these hot streaks and just start sending the balls to the outfield, or into the stands. So,
yeah. I need to actually get out there and actually watch one of those games sometimes. I rarely get out there. The tickets are a little pricey anyway. But I need to get out there and maybe watch a game here the next week or so. Yeah. So, yep, it's gonna be a gauntlet. Getting through that side of the bracket. And then at one point we do a cross bracket thing, I think, and hopefully we don't match up with Kennedy first thing against like Texas Tech on Saturday or something in a winner's bracket game. So yeah, we could. Yeah, it is what it is. You're going to see good pitching and good teams the rest of the way. So you can't. No sense in straying away from the challenge.
Right.
You want to. Yep. You want to shift gears? Talk about our OKC Thunder.
Sure.
So first two games, comfortable wins. Looked like they were just pretty much in control a good portion of those games. And then they went to Minneapolis Saturday and laid an egg. It happens.
Laid an egg. Yep. That's why you play 7 games. That's why you play a 7-game series. That's why basketball, you can't play just one game, because a superior team might lay an egg, and you don't want that. So I'm not worried about it. I know that a lot of people are worried about it. I'm not. Are you worried about it? Are you worried about? Was there anything on Saturday where you were like, that might be a problem going into 3, 4, and 5?
I'm
4, 5.
Yes, I am worried if it spills over into tonight, Rob. That's the only way I'm worried. If we come out and play good tonight, obviously, and happen to steal one, then obviously we're in complete control of the series. But if that carries over to tonight and it looks like, Minnesota's gaining momentum, it's going to bug me. At that point, it's 2 out of 3. But we'll see. Minnesota just looked like they couldn't do anything wrong on Saturday night. Shooting good. Shea only had like 2 points like halfway through the first quarter or something like that. And every time he had the ball, they were booing. It was just one of those. It was just one of those games. You're just kind of like, oh, okay.
That Minnesota crowd was dang good, though. I mean, I was surprised. They're rowdy. Like, it was a pretty rowdy bunch. Very comparable to the Oklahoma City home crowd too. I mean, I think ours is obviously better. It's more passionate, but there's really. I was like, dang, man, there was a really, you lay an egg. I'm not worried about it. There's nothing. I'm not worried about anything. This thing's wrapped up, man. We just need to do our thing. Just play your game. Just play your game. They must have passed out like the wrong milligrams of melatonin. Everyone thought it was like a 3. and they accidentally passed out 20 milligrams, and they were just like sleepy tired from the plane ride, and they get in there and they're just, I mean, they laid an egg. I'm not worried about it. This team is too damn good. It is too fast, too damn good. They're too good, man. Shea's not going to be denied going to the NBA Finals. Are you kidding me? That is not going to happen. There's no way Shea is going to be denied going to the NBA Finals. No way. It's not happening. This is done. I'm just patiently waiting. I'm just patiently waiting until we get to the NBA Finals and we get to see who the hell we're going to beat the crap out of next, and we're going to enjoy that week. I'm just hoping that the parade, I'm just hoping that I have time off for the parade, man. I'm just hoping. I'm waiting for that.
You're killing me. Yeah.
I'm just hoping and waiting to, how am I going to get off work? I'm just hoping it doesn't fall on one of those days where I just can't get off.
Now, our CEO is going to let us off to go to the parade, Rob. That won't be a problem. Don't worry about that. But I'm worried you're jinxing us, man. I know we're one injury away from, there's things that can happen. I don't like getting too far out in front of our skis or whatever. I'm not ready to.
Sure. No,
I'm not ready to go there yet.
That team is too damn good, Brad.
No,
they're too fast.
No, they're good.
There's too many shooters.
Yep.
You got Shea, who, like I said, 6 months ago, Shea is a different player, man. Like he is. He is taking it to a different level. He's getting that Kobe clutch gene. I think if we ever have a close game, it's not going to matter. I think, but we haven't even had that opportunity yet. He hasn't even had the opportunity to showcase that clutch gene yet in these playoffs because we're beating people by 15 points. I just think that when we get to an opponent in the NBA Finals, because I don't think Minnesota's is going to give it to us, he's just not going to be denied, and he's going to prove to everybody he's the best player in the NBA. So
yeah. No, I hope he does have some Kobe MJ type moments here the next couple of weeks, and everybody's just kind of like, yep, that guy's a different animal.
Yep.
No, so we'll find out tonight. Game 4, another 7. I really appreciate the 7:30 tips now that we're not doing the 8:30, 9 o'clock anymore.
Right.
Those were rough. It was 11:30 before it would get over, and you're like, oh, this is brutal. So yeah, hopefully we can take charge. I'd love to be up 3-1. And I don't care if we play New York or Indiana. I just want to win this series.
Yep.
And honestly, Rob, we may look back here in a couple of weeks and be like, man, Denver was our toughest series. Just Joker's such a tough matchup.
He is.
He just is. Yep. He's just he just controls the court in so many ways, and just a tough matchup. So I hope that's what we're saying a couple of weeks from now. It sure would, make us breathe a little easier these next couple of weeks if we could just go ahead and win this series in 5 or 6 and win the finals in 5. That'd be fine with me. Game 7s. I got to take a little extra heart meds on game 7s because those are just, man.
We're not having a game 7. We're not having a game 7 with Timberwolves. We got it. We got it.
Okay. All right.
This is gonna be fun tonight.
Okay. We'll see. I hope you're right.
What will end up happening is once we got Thunder and gets their championship, that would be 2 years we've had this pod, and we've had 2 championships. So as long as it's gonna happen, man. It's either that, it could be softball too. We don't know, but I have a feeling that just wait. We'll get 5 years of this, and every year we'll have a championship of some sort.
Yeah. If we start having one a year, I'm fine with that. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
All right. The other news we want to talk about today is OU got a big commitment this past week from defensive lineman out of Florida, Brian Harris. Big get. I know there were several several other, highly touted programs after him, and Coach Bates, Nagy, whoever closed the deal and got him committed. So always good when you can get those interior guys, right? You can get interior D linemen or offensive linemen these days. They're hard to come by. So no, he looks like a difference maker. 6'3", 290. Good weight coming in. He can put on another 20 or so, that first year, and looks like get another Florida guy. We've had good luck in Florida with guys over the last few years.
Yeah, he was also the defensive MVP at the 25 Under Armour Knicks camp in Orlando, so that's always good to see. He had a committable offer to Alabama, so it's always good to steal potential defensive line commits from Alabama, with or with Nick Saban. It don't matter.
Sure.
I mean, that's good. Alabama still has that defensive line coach, don't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What's his name? Because that's a pretty.
Gosh.
What is it? Roach? Freddie Roach?
Yes.
Or is that somebody else?
That's either him or Georgia. It's either Alabama or Georgia has Freddie Roach. I think that's right. I think you're right.
Yeah, that's Freddie Roach. Yeah, I mean, that's stealing from Freddie Roach's room is pretty good. I mean, that's a good win. I don't care if the guy's 2-star, 3-star. I don't really care about stars. I mean, if you got a committable offer to Freddie Roach and you're like, I'm going to go to Todd Bates, that's a big win for Todd Bates. Todd Bates has been a hell of a recruiter for us. It always seems around this time he has a commit. Is that right? I mean, it's like May, he always has a commit to his room, like he is building his class.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have a decommit and this and that, but around this time frame, year in and year out, Todd Bates has always had somebody commit to his room in this April, May, June, like little 3-month window every year, and he's building his class. You see it just developing and trying to get his class set, and he goes and gets a guy that had a committable offer to Freddie Roach and snagged him anyways. That's great. Todd Bates is I'm telling you, he's a workhorse, man.
Yeah, he's making a name for himself. You talking about Freddie Roach? Bates's name is with Clemson and now us. He's a household name as well. So
yep. And he's gonna blow up because he's gonna have possibly 3 defensive linemen that are gonna be drafted in the next 2 drafts.
Yep.
When was the last time you saw that, Brad?
Yeah.
IDLs drafted from us?
Yes.
Back-to-back drafts?
And when he starts entering those recruits' houses the year after that, man, things just get easier. All he's got to say is, hey, did you have him to catch the draft and see what those guys did? I think Michigan, Penn State, and South Carolina were pursuing him as well. So no, those are some names, household names as well after him. So good piece. I think it's maybe our 7th commit, Rob, somewhere in that neighborhood, 6th or 7th. And Charlie at TFB, he thinks we're going to be gaining some momentum, and it started with Brian Harris this past week, but over these next, say, 5 or 6 weeks, we may get in another, let's say, 5 recruits committed to us. So this is where we make our hay a lot of years, is in June in particular, because we have 2 big recruiting weekends. So hopefully we can get some of those bigger names to commit early and beef our class up a little bit. It's been a little slow this year recruiting wise, which it's always challenging after a 6 and 7 season, because there's plenty of negative recruiting going on out there.
2 and 3 years.
2 and 3 years. Yeah. Hell, you just did it. I mean, that's what the other teams are doing, right? They're like, look, This
Yeah.
team can't even have winning seasons.
Yeah.
But
But even
despite
when
despite
yeah,
that, they're still putting together great recruiting classes, and that's
you're
impressive.
strong by your strongest contributors like
Yep.
Todd Bates, Brandon
Mhm.
Hall, like they're still putting together some great classes with what they're able to do under the circumstance of all the negative recruiting that's around it. You still have a guy like Todd Bates that can go into SEC country and pull a guy from Florida to join his room early, before June. I mean that's pretty good. That's
So
pretty good.
I was going to get Charlie's take on this next time he hops on the pod with us, but he may watch, and he may give me a comment on this. But I'll ask you since he's not here. So
Oh crap. Okay.
no, it's okay. It's good to catch each other off guard, right?
Oh man. All right, go
You
for it.
can
I
handle
don't
the
know
pressure.
anything about I don't really
You can
follow
handle the
recruiting too
pressure.
much.
No,
All right, give it
this
to me.
one. Yeah, you'll have a good intelligent answer. I know you will. So I actually think so. We've had anywhere from top 5 to say 12 recruiting classes the last few years. Is that about right?
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
neighborhood ish.
Yeah.
I actually think we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 17 rank this year. And hear me out.
Okay.
I it's part of the losing record thing. And I think we're going to get more 3-stars with Nagy on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And so the recruiting rankings aren't going to catch up. And so I just think our recruiting ranking is going to slip this year. But if you reevaluate it after a few years, you know how they sometimes go back, and if
Do
you
it.
re-rank the
Yep.
class,
And
I
they
want to
do it to
see,
drafts as well.
yep, I want to see how this one turns out, because I do think it's going to slide, and I wanted your opinion on that. If you agree with me, or you think I'm
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
totally off my
I
rocker.
totally
Yeah,
agree.
yeah,
No, this is where it's just like NFL, right? Where you've got so many draft picks and you've got limited resources. Okay, you've got limited resources, so you have to use your evaluation. You build profiles for different player positions. Nagy said it on Gabe and Teddy. That's exactly what he does. Is he has player profiles that he goes after for each position, and he has specific skills and player personalities, and he specifically wants to try to find those diamonds and the threes and the twos and whatever stars, whatever
hmm
recruiting
hmm
services want to give him. He's not going to rely on the day and age of just relying on these regional scouts to try to build a
right.
profile. And then now every team now has the resources to put their own eyes to it, and you've got a guy like Nagy who spent almost like a decade looking at Senior Bowl guys that most of them were 3-stars. Like a lot of them were not the big time 5.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, I agree. Um, Lost your audio again, by the way.
Star lead players. They were all those 3 to low, and so I that's what he's just going to be translating to doing it on a full time,
Yep.
but specifically for OU. And I that is beautiful. Like that's
hmm
exactly what we
hmm
want,
hmm
is to find those 3-star guys that are going to be program guys, stick in your program for 3-4 years, and you develop them with great coaches and talent. And you look at the pool of players, there's thousands of players. There is a national championship team in there if you're able to get your elite crop, cream of the crop. You got to have a quarterback, you've got to have pass rushers, you got to have a great corner, you got to have a good receiver.
hmm
After those 5 or 6 players, you just have to build the rest of it with
Yep.
what you feel like with your system, with your coaches, with your player profiles. And I think you're right. I think it could be the norm, really, is to, you know, trying to win on, what is it, what's the day of the signing day now? I mean, it's in January, but the final one where they lock the class like the February, right? So
Yeah.
February, the day and age of like winning February with your recruiting class, I think that's over. Like it doesn't
Right.
matter what those stars are, not with the portal, and you're gonna be, you're always gonna have 3 million earmarked for a quarterback. So quarterbacks are not really. I just, yeah, I know, I agree. I just think you're gonna end up, those recruiting classes are always gonna try to build out those 3 or 4s that don't cost you a lot of money, that that this is going to take time to develop, and they just grow into a great class with what you evaluated through, the 6-8 months of scouting them. So
Yeah.
I think, I yeah, winning February is over.
Right.
It's so
I do think even though our class ranking I could see falling, I could also see, a potential 10 win season, allowing us to be one of those teams that flips a couple of guys late in the cycle.
oh, nice.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That
Yep.
early December, flip a guy at the last minute where the other team doesn't have a chance to re-recruit him. A week before signing day, you get him to flip.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening with success. Winning and success always breeds better recruiting. That's not some big secret, but so that could be the case this year. So our recruiting ranking just continues to slide a little bit, and then all of a sudden we flip a couple of guys there at the end and move up a couple of spots. But hopefully that's the case. You and I, we want the 9-10 winning season. The recruiting ranking doesn't mean as much to us right now. We need the winning season, right? We just need to build that reputation back that we are a winning program. So it's pretty simple, I think.
Yeah, I just, ever since NIL kind of took over the sport, I never really, got into the hitsy titsy of, trying to have a top 5 class, because half your class, even before NIL, never really panned out anyways. Like, you got 25 guys, really only like 50, you would hope like 15 stayed on your roster. But
right.
if you're Nagy, you're wanting to target those 3 and 4s that are going to stay on your roster for 3-4 years.
Yep.
Versus having a 5-star that could jump ship or whatever. But like, you're trying to like get a core of players every year in your recruiting class that's going to stick with yourself quarterback every year. Use your NIL dollars to go buy a top receiver or a top pass rusher and bring them in. You always have like 6 to 8 elite players on awesome NIL deals, and then you've got your recruiting classes of 3s and 4s that you're just constantly trying to develop and plug in different spots. And you've got those player profiles to, hey, I want my edges that are tall and long, so I'm going to target tall and long, and I'm going to keep them on my roster for 3 or 4 years and teach them football. Just as example, you just have like specific personalities, everything. It's exactly what the NFL does. They're like, hey, I just had I just lost an edge player. I drafted that edge player in the 4th round. I like my guys that are 6'7" and they've got a 7-foot wingspan. Who is that? In the 4th round. Well, here's their list of players, and they just draft them automatically over and over again. They just stick to a system, a process over and over, and it's the same year in and year out. The coaches, they know, hey, I just lost that guy. I know that my GM is just going to go out there and get me exactly the same thing.
Right.
So there's no like, the communication is all streamlined, and that's how everything's ran. Like, from the top to the bottom, everyone on the same page. We're sticking to this over and over again. And Nagy's been 5 months. We're not. He's not going to get real deep into it after a couple years. It's only going to get better. Like, this is just the very beginning. After he gets through a few cycles, you're going to start to see like everything really unfold, the actual system that he has laid out.
Right. Yeah, and I'm hoping we do keep him a couple of years and he builds a good foundation with his staff,
Mhm.
so, because he's going to get poached by several, whether it's college or NFL, he's going to get poached. So I'm hoping he can build that foundation rather quickly and establish that where it can just be picked up by the next guy, and it's
I think
hard to have that trained eye like he has necessarily, but you can instill some of those, character traits within your staff that he has and everything. So,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah,
um,
I think he's going to be here about 3, 4, and I think he's going to do such a good job that he's going to get plucked by the NFL. I think the college level is going to be a great way for NFL teams to kind of see the future GM when they're actually running an actual team. Like right now, like so depending on all the different NFL teams, but they don't really you don't really get to see like a GM before he's a GM actually running a whole team. Usually they're like running scouts and stuff like that, and it's a lot of this, hey, this guy's did this guy found him, this guy found this player, and all this different stuff. But actually running the team is completely different. Nagy's actually running an entire team right now, and he's going and he's finding players, that talent evaluation, all of that. He's got 3 to 4 years to really showcase his skills. I think he's going to do a great job, and he's going to get plucked up to the next level. What we need to be for OU, and I think our expectation needs to be, okay, we need to be that like semi-pro farmhouse for GMs. We want to be the spot where GMs just want to
yeah,
be here. We turn them loose. You come here, you work 3 to 4 years, you're gonna go be a GM for the Vikings. You're gonna be a GM for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're
yeah,
gonna be able to
yeah.
compete for the next level. That's what we want. We want to be a
Mhm.
destination spot for GMs. And I think Nagy's gonna let that play out.
Yeah.
That's
So
why the
just kind
hire
of,
is just awesome.
yeah, no, we can
Can't get
be
enough
that.
of it.
Yeah, Georgia was just that factory that was just churning players out and things like that. We can be that for, GMs and players at some point, obviously, but yeah, we can be that spot
Hmm.
as well. Would you think you mentioned about retaining roster and stuff like that? So like what's an ideal number to you? Would 80, retaining 80%
Oh
of your
man,
classes, 80%. I know I'm putting you on the spot
that's a
all day
lot.
today.
80% seems pretty high.
Okay, how about this? You retain 75% of your classes,
Uh
and
huh.
then the other 25% you get from the portal. So it's like a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 relationship.
That's
You
that's
get three guys that you count on recruiting, and then you always go and get the one guy from the portal. I don't know if that's an ideal number, but that's kind of where we're heading.
Yeah. So if you've got how many? So the roster spots are going to change too, because they say it's 85,
Hmm.
but eventually with revenue sharing, that number is going to come crashing down. I bet you they have rosters of about 60 to 65. Don't you think? Because they're going to end up, there was news this week of 5% or 15 people
Yeah,
getting
the
laid
whole
off
revenue
at the OU
sharing. Yep,
athletic
yep.
department. Eventually, they're gonna have to cut the roster size down from their players too.
Hmm.
Um, but if you let's say you have your top 65 players,
Do 60. The math is real easy if you do 60.
6, okay, 60. So top
Hmm.
70% is 42 players. So
Yep.
42 players are your recruiting class, and then the other 18 players are your top revenue earners of NIL. Of those 18, probably the top 8 are the ones that are making like the $1 million. They're making the $1 million. They're making some serious cash. That's your quarterback. That's going to probably be at least 25 to 30% of your NIL budget has got to be your quarterback. Don't you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
No.
quarterbacks are only going to make more and more money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to get
I
me on
just
the NIL. You're
no
going to
no
get me on
no.
the NIL train. So I think all the money that they're making right now as players,
Mhm.
I don't think we're even close to what they're actually worth in the market yet. I think we have to get this revenue sharing. thing. From what I understand, is that it was a recommended amount. It is not the amount the players get to voice on. Eventually, the players are going to have a voice for what that amount is. When they become employees and they become a union and everything, they're going to have an actual voice for what their actual amount is. Because right now it's just a settlement and a court provided recommended amount of 20%, but they're going to keep making more and more money. And you're going to have probably 6 to 8 players, and everybody's quarterback's going to be making the most amount of money. But if you want to have a John Mateer or a Lagway or a Sellers or an Arch Manning or whatever, you're going to have to spend the top 5% of that money, which could be somewhere between, in my view, probably like 30 to 40 million for a quarterback for about 3 years.
I just see this. I see a pie chart. I see this pie chart of the team. And the quarterback just having this big old chunk of it. And then you got your D lineman. And then you got, you know what I mean? And then there's this other quarter for the rest of everybody, just this other little quarter for everyone else. But it's crazy. I heard Nagy say the other day, he was on a show, and I don't remember who it was with. Did you know everybody, all the players know what each other makes on NIL? Did you know that?
I would assume they. Why wouldn't they? It's all reported.
I don't know. I just thought, I didn't know it was like completely public for every player. To know what every player was doing.
All the players have to report what their NIL dollars, what they're making. It's just they don't. There's no transparency to it on a national wide scale because it's just not. But I don't see why. Why would you can't keep it a secret? They're kids.
I no.
I mean, like, even if you told them, hey, don't say anything. Like, they're kids. Of course
I realize that. I realize they're going to talk. I'm not saying that, but
okay.
I just didn't know it was like complete common knowledge. You know that the whole roster knows pretty much what each other's making. So I think it's a good thing. Honestly, I think it's a good thing. It can
because if you're, let's say, I think it's a good thing because if let's say you're wide receiver 5 or defensive line 5, and you want to know what OU's willing to pay.
Wide receiver 1 is, of course. Yeah.
You want to know because if I play good, if I put my ass on the line, I play damn good, and you're paying them $1 million a year, and I play better than them, you better. Where's my money? Where's my cash? Like, I just bust my ass. Like, I want that dough.
Yeah.
Like, I totally appreciate that because and also as a player, you want to know, hey, they're willing to pay some good money. If you kick ass, you're gonna pay some good money. I don't want to be playing somewhere where they pay players chump change. I want to be where players are getting paid, man. I want to see the Mercedes. I want to see the G-Wagon, man. I don't care if I'm riding in it. I might not be good enough to ride in it.
Yeah.
But if I can bust my ass and get good, Todd Bates could have turned me into a D lineman to the NFL. You better bet your ass I'm going to buy myself a G-Wagon, and you're going to get it to me.
I'm going to reach over and pull that soapbox out from underneath you, Rob.
Okay.
You're on your NIL soapbox. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm with you. No, transparency is always good. It's always better that way. I just think honest and open is always the better way to go. But
fans deserve some transparency too.
I was a little bit surprising to it. Yeah, fans do, but I could care less at the end of the day. I don't care who's getting paid what. I just want W's on the board every Saturday.
Yeah, me too. I don't care, man. I don't care either. I think I'm a numbers guy, so I like to see how I want to see contracts. I want long-term contracts. I want a salary cap. I want all that analysis, man.
Yep.
Like, it sucks not having a podcast and not able to really talk about that because then you go into like NFL world Whereas a
Sure.
Chiefs fan, I used to do that all the time. I go, okay,
Mhm.
if we structure him long term, we're probably and front load the contract, then we can skip.
Yep.
That way, in later years, we can bring on other people. You know, maybe we could get him a signing bonus. You know, miss that cap. You know,
Right.
that would be so much fun, man. I can't wait.
Someday,
It's gonna get there.
someday
It's
it'll happen. So, and
yep,
we'll be able to
it'll
jump
get there.
on for 2 hours and decipher it. We'll
Oh,
sit here
man.
and we'll play with the numbers and make it to where it all works out.
Yeah.
5
I'll have a
years,
wicked spreadsheet,
we
man.
got these guys. Yeah, exactly.
I'll have a color coded spreadsheet.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. Oof, yeah. We always, once we start talking football, we always get off on tangents. We can't help it.
Yeah.
That's what prompted our pod to start with. So here we are.
Yeah.
What do you think? Anything else? Anything else that we missed today? Softball, Thunder, recruiting.
No.
It's all
Thunder.
all looking up, right?
Yeah. Thunder's gonna roll tonight. Thursday when we talk Sunday, I think OU's gonna get it, man. They're gonna get it, and yeah. And then next Sunday we'll talk some John Mateer. So next week we'll Coach. We're gonna do it today, but Coach wants to hop on and talk about him. So we'll have a John Mateer episode here.
By Sunday, we will know what 2 teams will be in the softball championship series. So by the time we do our podcast Sunday, we will know if we're in the champ series or if we came up short.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah, for sure. So
that's gonna be quick, man.
I know, crazy. So everybody needs to cheer like a champion this week. You gotta spread your energy out between the Thunder and OU softball. You can't give one group too much right now. All right, we want to wrap things up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you had a great long weekend. Enjoyed your extra day off. And we will shout at you next weekend. Thanks everyone. Boomer.
Hey. That is my standard. Champion standard. Yeah. Run my place, ayy. Keep up with the pace, ayy. If you don't got motion, then stay up out of my face, ayy. I be doing a race, ayy. 100 yards out of the way, ayy. It's time to lock it in the field, baby. It's game day. 7 rings you can't handle. I'm on a champion man too. Welcome to my standards. Maybe that's something you can do. Maybe try a different angle. Maybe try a different play too. Well, you know you're the greatest. Some people might hate you. Champ, yeah, I'm the champ. Yeah, I'm the champ. Champion standard. Don't gotta put on a hat. Titles, you know we got that. Yeah, I'm the champ. Champion standard. Yeah, I'm the champ. Champion standard. Hang my jersey in the rafters. I'm a champ. Champion standard. I'll tell you nobody's safe when it's time for game day. Put up or shut up, you know it's competitive. We will not ever take losses. Yeah, I be playing the game, but at heart, you know I am just really a boss. Youngin' or boomer, don't matter who's on the field, everybody getting sauce. Get down with the team, cause we really one-on-one, yeah. Hey, I'm the man, hey, I'm the man, yeah. Watch how we make fans, while we also make this cash, hey. When it comes to plays, there isn't one we haven't ran, yeah. Competition's getting body, that's no capping. Champ, yeah, I'm the champ, yeah, I'm the champ. Champion standard, don't gotta put on a hat. Titles, you know we got that. Yeah, I'm the champ, champion standard. Yeah, I'm the champ, champion standard. Hang my jersey in the rafters, I'm a champ, champion standard. Champ, yeah, I'm the champ. Yeah, I'm the champ, champion standard. Don't gotta put on a hat. Titles, you know we got that. Yeah, I'm the champ, champion standard. Yeah, I'm the champ, champion standard. Hang my jersey in the rafters, I'm a champ, champion standard. I told you nobody's safe when it's time for game day. I told you nobody's safe when it's time for game day. Champion standard, and we don't play. Champion standard, and we don't play.